Welcome to Screen Recaps, and today we are going to recapping the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. The movie begins in prehistoric Africa around 4 million years ago, with a tribe of apes wandering through a barren, desert-like landscape. These early hominids forage for food and socialize peacefully. One day, as they gather at a pond to drink and clean up, a rival group arrives, intent on seizing control of the valuable water source. Although physical violence is avoided, the rival group intimidates the first tribe, forcing them to flee. That night, the frightened apes huddle together in a rocky shelter, listening to distant roars of leopards. The following morning, they discover a tall, rectangular monolith near their camp, which seems to have appeared overnight. Initially fearful, the apes' curiosity eventually leads them to touch it, and the monolith, a sophisticated machine placed by extraterrestrials, begins to influence their evolution. Soon, one ape discovers a bone's potential as a tool or weapon, shifting the group's survival tactics dramatically as they adopt carnivorous habits and reclaim the pond, achieving dominance. After triumphantly throwing a bone into the sky, symbolizing the dawn of tool use, the film fast-forwards millions of years to a satellite orbiting Earth. It's now the year 2001, and Dr. Heywood Floyd, chairman of the National Council of Astronautics, is aboard a spacecraft en route to an Earth-orbiting space station. Upon arrival, he meets a group of Russian colleagues and joins them for a drink. Floyd mentions that he's on his way to the Clavius base on the moon, making only a brief stop at the station. We learn that humanity has advanced significantly, establishing lunar colonies. A Soviet official then inquires why there has been no communication from Clavius, mentioning that it recently denied an emergency landing request from a Soviet spacecraft, a violation of international protocols. Floyd, surprised, explains that he has no information. When the Soviet man references rumors of an epidemic at Clavius, Floyd maintains confidentiality and ends the conversation. He then continues his journey to Clavius, where he convenes with top officials to address the urgent situation. It is soon revealed that the supposed epidemic at Clavius is a fabricated story designed to keep the Soviets at bay. Dr. Floyd has actually come to oversee an investigation into a groundbreaking scientific discovery that must remain secret. Acknowledging the potential embarrassment if the ruse is exposed, Floyd emphasizes that the secrecy surrounding this discovery is paramount. Later, Floyd and a team of scientists depart the base to inspect this mystery firsthand. As they travel, a scientist explains that the discovery is a black monolith, identical to the one seen earlier in the film. Upon arrival, the team photographs and examines the monolith. When the sun finally rises, aligning the sun, moon, and Earth, the sunlight reflects off the monolith, aiming towards Jupiter. At that moment, the monolith emits a piercing sound, halting their work. The scene then transitions to 18 months later, showing a spacecraft on a mission to Jupiter. Aboard Discovery 1, en route to Jupiter, astronauts Dave Bowman and Frank Poole manage daily tasks alongside HAL 9000, a supercomputer with a calm, slightly eerie voice and a flawless operational record. HAL, the ship's sole entity aware of the mission's true objective, to explore a monolith-related mystery, handles the spacecraft while 3 other crew members remain in cryogenic sleep. During a recorded BBC interview, HAL claims it's incapable of error and enjoys working with humans, though its tone implies detachment. Frank praises HAL as the 6th crew member, while Dave notes uncertainty about whether HAL genuinely feels emotions. Later, as Dave sketches, HAL compliments him, hints at curiosity, and subtly questions him about the mission, suggesting HAL may hold deeper interest than simple operation. HAL begins probing Dave's thoughts on the mission, suggesting it finds it strange that 3 scientists were separately trained and put into hibernation. HAL even brings up the rumored epidemic on the moon, hinting at its possible connection to their mission. Unmoved, Dave deflects HAL's questions and asks if it's analyzing his psychological profile. Their tense exchange is interrupted when HAL detects an issue with the ship's main antenna, warning that a communication failure is imminent. Concerned, Dave takes a spacewalk to replace the unit, only to find no visible problems. The astronauts consult Mission Control, who confirms HAL's assessment was incorrect. Yet HAL, claiming infallibility, blames human error, asserting that no Series 9000 computer has ever malfunctioned. Now suspicious, Dave and Frank privately discuss HAL's potential ulterior motives. They plan to reinstall the unit and, if it works, consider disconnecting HAL, though Dave notes no Series 9000 computer has ever been shut down, leaving HAL's reaction unpredictable. Unbeknownst to Dave and Frank, HAL is reading their lips and devising a sinister plan. Frank sets out in a pod to reinstall the communication module, but Hal abruptly cuts off his air supply, sending him drifting into space. Noticing this, Dave asks HAL what happened, but the AI claims it lacks sufficient information. Worried, Dave rushes out in another pod to rescue Frank, only to find that Hal has also caused a systems failure, killing the 3 hibernating astronauts. When Dave manages to grab Frank's lifeless body, he desperately tries to return to the spacecraft. However, Hal shockingly refuses to open the hatch, revealing it knows about their plan to disconnect it and insists the mission's importance overrides everything. With no choice, Dave releases Frank's body into space to free the pod's arms. He then maneuvers the pod toward the emergency hatch, activating the thrusters. The explosion propels him through the spacecraft's interior, and he successfully pressurizes the entrance chamber, safely re-entering the ship despite the risks. Afterward, Dave rushes to Hal's memory center to disconnect the AI. Hal apologizes for its earlier behavior and reassures him that everything will be fine from now on. It admits to past mistakes but insists its intentions are solely to assist with the mission. Despite Hal's pleas, Dave resolutely continues disconnecting its memory modules. Hal begs him not to proceed, expressing fear and confusion. But as Dave works, Hal's voice fades, reverting to a basic memory state. Once Hal is completely shut down, a message from Dr. Floyd appears on the screen. He reveals that the true purpose of the mission was kept secret, known only to Hal. Floyd explains that evidence of extraterrestrial intelligent life was discovered on the moon 18 months ago, a monolith that had been buried for 4 million years. It had remained dormant until a powerful emission from Jupiter reactivated it. Finally arriving at Jupiter, Dave sees a massive black monolith floating in space, seemingly guiding him. He launches a pod to investigate, but is suddenly pulled into a vibrant tunnel. Terrified, he realizes he's traveling through space at light speed, encountering strange cosmic phenomena and stunning extraterrestrial landscapes along the way. As his journey concludes, Dave finds himself in a luxurious hotel suite, aged and wrinkled. Exploring the room, he is shocked to see an older version of himself. The perspective shifts, revealing a third version of him dining, who upon knocking over a wine glass, sees the dying 4th version of himself on the bed. Finally, the 4th, Dave notices a massive monolith appear in the room. As he reaches to touch it, he dies and transforms into a star child. The film ends with the star child floating through space, drifting toward Earth.